Do you find yourself having a hard time regulating your emotions? Or like sometimes you don't even know where you're at when it comes to your emotions? Well, today I'm going to teach you guys a little about the label and rating system developed by Julie Brown, also known as the feelings rating scale. Label and rate was developed basically to remind you of where you are in terms of your emotions and how they are affecting the way that you show up. So, today I'm going to go over how you use the scale and why it's important to be in tune with your emotions. Okay, so how to use the skill system. I'm basically going to use a handful of videos to describe the entire skill system. However, today we're talking about label and rating. So if you look at the top here, the feelings rating scale is on a scale of 0 to 5. Okay, the feelings is where you label what emotion you're feeling, and the rating scale is where you rate on a level of 0 to 5. How present is that emotion really showing up in you? Okay, so how strong is your feeling, right? It helps you to know how many skills to use when it comes to regulating those emotions. And it also lets you know, okay, how is this emotion affecting my thoughts, actions, and behaviors? Next, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the actual rating scale, okay? So when it comes to a rating scale, this isn't your traditional 0 to 10, tell me how much it hurts. It is indicative of how much this emotion really is showing up and affecting your thoughts, behaviors, and actions. If you're feeling an emotion at a level 0, that means it's no feeling, right? It just exists, okay? So I could wake up happy just because I'm grateful to be alive, right? It just exists. Maybe other people might not be able to really notice if I'm happy or not. It just lives there, right? If you're at a 1 or a 2, that means the feeling is a little more present, right? It's a tiny feeling or a small feeling. Yeah, I'm feeling a little happy. Yeah, I'm feeling a little sad, right? 3 is a full feeling of that emotion, okay? So a 3 means you are having a full feeling of that emotion. On here, it actually says medium feeling. However, I like to describe it as having a full feeling of the emotion because that's okay. There's nothing wrong with feeling an emotion completely and fully. The danger zone is when you start to step into levels 4 and 5, and these start to affect the way that you are showing up based on that emotion. So a level 4 would mean that that feeling is so strong that is affecting your thought process. You're having a hard time talking, listening, staying on track. You might be dissociating, dysregulated. I might call your name a couple times and you don't even turn around because you're so locked in on what's happening. You are now distracted and dysregulated. And that means that the emotion is so present that you are dysregulated. If you are at a level 5, that means one of 3 things, and it only ever means one of 3 things: that you are harming yourself, harming others, or destroying property, or you are very close and on your way to doing those things. So the only reason we would ever be at a level 5 is if we are harming ourselves, harming others, or destroying property. So as you can see on this label and rating scale, you have the 3, okay, that's a full feeling of an emotion, okay? Again, it says medium feeling. That is how it is written in the Julie Brown skill system. However, I again call it a full feeling because that means that feeling is present and it's okay. You're kind of living in that feeling. A 4 is overwhelming. A 5 is harm. So that is how you rate the emotion. So next we're going to talk about the labeling the emotion. Okay, now I'm pulling up the emotion scale. So this is where you label. Okay, I just showed you the rating scale. Okay, 0 to 5. This is where you label the emotion, the feeling that's happening. The reason I put up a feelings wheel is because a lot of times we have a hard time identifying what's going on in us. And I really like that this feelings wheel not only identifies large scale feelings, right? Almost elementary labeled feelings like anger, scared, joyful, powerful, peaceful, sad. Those are typical feelings, but it breaks them down. What goes under these umbrellas? What falls under sadness? Neglect, ignored, disappointed, let down, abandoned, remorse. These really help to break down where is your sadness actually stemming from? What kind of sad is it? And the better you can identify how you're feeling or what emotion is actually happening within you, the better you can address what's going on, the better other people can show up for you, the better you can really tend to yourself and self-soothe. Right here is where you're going to find your label, okay? I'm feeling unheard and angry at a level 2. Okay, that means that I'm feeling that emotion. I most likely can address it or, cope or self-soothe. I can do something about it. I'm feeling under scared. I'm feeling frightened and anxious at a 4. That means that fear and anxiety is really showing up on me. And let me go ahead and stop and say that frightened could actually be a 2 and anxious could be a 4. Let's go ahead and mix it up, okay? So I'm feeling frightened at a 2, okay? So that exists. And I'm feeling anxious at a 4. Because I'm feeling anxious at a 4, that means that I am not going to engage in expressing myself. That means I'm not going to move forward with problem solving. That means that at that moment, I need to figure out how to regulate, reset my mood and emotions, get myself at a 3 or lower before I engage in anything. Because the thing that happens when you're at a level 4 or 5, especially when you have intense emotions involved, we tend to act off of those emotions and do things that we don't necessarily want to do or we had no intention of doing or saying. So it's best to regulate yourself and try to get down to a 3 before you start addressing things or moving forward with something. Okay, so if you're anxious at a 4, if you can, do your best to regulate, get down to at least a 3, and then go forward with whatever it is that you're going to take on. Even if it's not an altercation, let's say you were about to go engage in something, do something, ride an ATV, right? If you're at a 4 or 5 and you're so dysregulated because of your anxiety, try to bring it down to a 3 so that you're safer when you're riding that ATV, right? But it also goes to conversations, right? If I'm going to be addressing somebody and I'm angry at a 4 or 5, that is not the time to address the situation. Get down to a level 3, get a clear head, regulate your mood and emotions a little bit more before you go forward with that action, okay? Again, I like to show a feelings wheel because sometimes people have a hard time identifying their emotions, and we have to practice identifying our emotions down to the core, or at least to the best of our abilities, okay? Something people ask me a lot is, oh, well, what if I'm happy at a 5? What if I'm joyful at a 4? That's possible. I can give a couple of examples. The first thing that comes to my mind, imagine someone diagnosed with bipolar, right, disorder. Imagine experiencing euphoria at a 4 or a 5. Essentially, you think that's a good feeling or emotion. However, it is likely placing you in danger, or you're engaging in reckless behavior or things that you shouldn't be doing, right? Or that could be a harm to yourself or others. Another example could be if you're happy, right? Let's say I'm happy at a 5. How can that happen? How can you be happy at a 5? Well, guess what? I just won the lottery. Okay, so now I'm running through the house, knocking over vases. I cut myself on the edge of the table. I'm bleeding now, right? I'm beside myself. I'm dysregulated. I'm so happy. People are calling my name. I'm not even answering. I'm ignoring people because I'm so tapped into my thoughts right now. What am I going to do with this money? What is going to happen next? That I have no sense of presence. And that is dysregulated, right? So I say that to say, yes, you can be happy at a 4 or 5. You can be any emotion on this wheel at a 0 through 5. It doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate. That's not how the wheel works. The wheel works to identify how an emotion is showing up in your body and how it's affecting your behavior, thoughts, and your actions, as well as your mood. So that is the feelings rating scale. I want to give everyone an opportunity to make an attempt at doing your own label and rate. Right now, I guess I would be content at a 2. I'm feeling peaceful at a 2, and I'm a little excited at a 3. So that is my label and rate at the moment. I want you guys to practice tapping into your emotions. Print out a feelings wheel if you need to. If you want more resources, if you want to talk a little more about label and rate, let me know, or go ahead and go to the Julie Brown Skill System website. In the meantime, you guys practice your label and rate. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to connecting with you all when the mind clicks. Let's say you're feeling angry at a 3. That's okay to express it. You're allowed to express if you're angry. Hey, what you did just pissed me off. Okay, that made me really angry and I'm not going to tolerate it. That's self-care, okay? Saying no is self-care. Setting a boundary is self-care. Telling somebody how they made you feel is self-care. Now, if your anger is, I want to punch this guy in the face and that's what I'll do if I see him, Well, guess what? Take a break, get down to a level 3, okay, before you go address this situation. And I promise you, you will increase the likelihood of getting your needs met by addressing it at a level 3 rather than when you're at a level 5.